Stop chasing ghost traffic. For nearly 2 decades, the industry thrived on website rankings in search results. We obsessed over our positions and battled for the top spot among the blue links. But in 2026, everything has changed. Google AI Mode has surpassed 1 billion monthly users, and queries are doubling every quarter. This isn't just a minor update, it's a wake-up call for marketers. The old SEO model relied on a find and click behavior. Now, we've shifted to an answer engine model. These platforms aim to synthesize the web into a single authoritative response, and if you're not the source of that answer, you risk becoming invisible. Let me give you a few numbers that really matter. Gartner predicts traditional search volume will drop 25% by 2026, largely because people are just talking to AI chatbots instead of typing keywords into a search bar. Already, nearly 60% of Google searches end without a single click to any website. Users get their answers directly on the search results page through AI overviews, featured snippets, and knowledge panels. On mobile, it's even worse. Over 75% of searches are zero click. And here's the really brutal one. When an AI overview appears, the click-through rate for the number one organic result drops by 58%. That's up from 34.5% just 8 months ago. So you can rank first, you can do everything right by the old rules, and still get less than half the clicks you used to. That is not a bug. That is the new reality. So what's actually happening here? Search engines don't want to send users away anymore. They want to synthesize the web into a single authoritative answer right there in the search results. Platforms like Perplexity, Google's Gemini, ChatGPT, they're answer engines, not search engines. You are no longer competing just for a spot in a list of blue links. You're competing to be the source that the AI chooses to cite when it generates its answer. This is what people are calling generative engine optimization, or GEO. And it's fundamentally different from traditional SEO, where SEO focused on keywords and backlinks. GEO focuses on making your content ingestible for large language models, clean data, factual accuracy, parsable signals, not keyword stuffing, not meta tags, actual verifiable expertise. This is where a lot of businesses get tripped up. They think AI just crawls their site like Googlebot always did, but it doesn't. Modern AI models use something called retrieval augmented generation, RAG for short. They don't just search your site, they ingest it. They're looking for context they can pull into a live, synthesized answer. And if your technical foundation isn't flawless, they will ignore your data and go grab someone else's instead. So, what matters now? Structured data isn't just a nice to have anymore. It is the primary language of trust between your server and the LLM. You're building a knowledge graph that an AI can verify and cite with confidence. When the data is structured right, the AI doesn't have to guess what you do, it knows. Let's talk about content structure, because this is where most websites get it completely wrong. If your most valuable insight is buried under 5 paragraphs of introductory fluff, AI models will skip it. They are designed for efficiency. They want the what and the how immediately. You need to adopt an inverted pyramid structure. Deliver the core answer in the very first sentence, then layer in the detail. And here's a pro tip: publish original data, unique charts, proprietary research, fresh statistics. These are what I call citation bait. AI engines are programmed to cite sources for specific, verifiable claims. There's also been some really interesting academic research published in 2026 on what actually gets cited in AI answers. One study found that visibility now depends not just on ranking, but on being cited. And when two sources compete for that citation, the one with clearer structure and verifiable claims wins every time. Here's something a lot of SEOs are missing. AI engines are increasingly sophisticated at spotting misinformation and generic fluff. They look for consensus across the web to validate your claims. If your brand is consistently mentioned on high authority news sites or respected industry journals, you've provided the ultimate proof of expertise. This is what I call PRSEO. It's not just about backlink counts anymore. It's about building a digital footprint that LLMs can actually verify and weigh against your competitors. The models crawl news archives, press releases, and third-party reviews to understand who the real experts are. Third-party validation acts as a trust signal that overrides generic self-published content. You cannot just claim you're an expert, you need other people to claim it for you. With all this talk of AI, here's the part that actually gives me a lot of hope. Generic AI-generated content is everywhere. It's safe, it's repetitive, and it's rarely cited by other AI engines. Why? Because it lacks the experience part of Google's EEAT framework. AI engines prioritize unique perspectives and assertive expert opinions that only a human can provide. You need to inject real-world case studies, senior-level expertise, bold takes on technical subjects. That carries a weight that a chatbot simply cannot replicate. So don't outsource your authority to a language model. Use it as a tool, sure, but the human in the loop approach, that's what ensures your brand isn't just another voice in the noise. If you're still obsessing over click-through rates while ignoring how often you're cited by name in AI responses, you are measuring the wrong things. Success in this new world requires a fundamental shift in your KPIs. You need to track your share of model, how often your brand appears in responses from platforms like Perplexity, Gemini, and ChatGPT. How often does the AI mention you by name? How often does it cite your research? How often do you appear in those zero-click results, building brand recall even without the click? Those are the metrics that matter now. The long-term value of being a citable authority is far greater than any temporary spike in traffic from a fading blue link. Look, the rules of the game have changed. You can either keep playing the old game and watch your organic visibility slowly erode, or you can adapt. Stop chasing ghost traffic. Stop obsessing over rankings that don't drive clicks. Start building the kind of digital authority that AI assistants cannot help but recommend. That's what we help businesses do. We've been at this since 2007, and we've seen search evolve from simple keywords to the sophisticated answer engine model we're dealing with today. If you want to understand how your current strategy stacks up, or just have a conversation about what this all means for your business, reach out. Thanks for watching. Speak soon.